here we have our Starlink constellation. And, they're pumping up these Starlinks into orbit all the time. When you have geomagnetic disturbances, it can cause these sort of satellite failures because they encounter more drag. Because during a solar storm impact, the upper atmosphere actually will raise up in vibration and then go up to a higher altitude, therefore increasing the density of the upper atmosphere. So the exosphere becomes more dense. That increases drag on satellites. In general, there'll be more reentries. There can also be like what's known as deep dielectric charging of satellites, which can cause like a short circuit and therefore a malfunction that can cause a problem. So Starlink has more than 8,000 satellites now in space, and the overall number of satellites is something like 12 to 15,000 or so. So the majority of satellites now in space are Starlinks, by the way. And so I just want to show you this graphic here, okay? We're in a storm right now, which could indicate that, over the next couple of days, there may be an increase in these reentries and these failures. And we've seen this time and time again with geomagnetic storms. Here we see the total number of Starlinks. We see how it's been accelerating since basically the beginning of 2025. And we see the ones that are active or in service with the green line. Then we have inactive ones in yellow, then burned up ones in red. But let's turn off the service ones. Let's turn off the total ones actually, and then also turn off the inactive ones. Look at how the re-entries has been going up exponentially. And actually this is probably the beginning of this exponential curve, because they want Starlink to be 40,000 satellites plus. China wants their own mega constellation or multiple. The EU and a variety of other governments and companies, big companies, are working on this. So Starlink's just first mover, but look at how they've been increasing dramatically. If we go to the end here, look at this. We'll go mid-December. We had 628 that were burned up, and it's already gone up to nearly double that number, 1,121 as of the 11th of June. So a massive increase just in 6 months. We've put on nearly the entire amount of burned up Starlinks for this entire time frame, going back to 2020, sometime in 2020, going back to August of 2020. Now, just in about 6 months actually, because this is mid-December that we're measuring from. Just in 6 months, just under a near doubling of these Starlinks that have burned up into our atmosphere, depositing metallic particles all across the atmosphere, burning up ozone, creating metallic oxide dust, very likely strengthening these geomagnetic storms because of the conductive ions that are created. Some of it lingers there. So just wanted to bring awareness to that. We've been talking about that. This is one of the main, maybe not the main forces, but one of the big forces right now of Earth electrification that is continuing because of the increase of electromagnetic emissions like radio frequency, which would be, for example, power grid noise, 50, 60 hertz, but other frequencies around there too. You also have all the AM and FM radio frequencies. You have first responder and like hospital and government frequency use, which is a huge swath of the radio frequency spectrum. You have all the cellular communication. So you have 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, and you also have factors like this. So it's really quite significant, not to be ignored. That's why earthing and grounding is so valuable in the modern day and age.